Morning everybody, it's now Tuesday. I've got the day off work today. I'm down at the plot this morning. I'm going to be pulling a few leaks out as I need to start getting things cleared up and get sorted and prepared. Lots of mess had with tidying up and things, so I need to get everything sorted for in the tunnels and also in the garden. So at the moment I'm busy pulling up these leeks here so I can prep them and take them home, chop them up and put them in the freezer. So I'll show you everything that I've got, even the bad stuff. So these are some of the leeks I've put in, which, as you can see, big flags on them, but covered in rust. That's been my bad, the state of them, and that's all that's going to do is spread. So it's going to be put to one side. This isn't going to be composted. The leeks are going to go home, we'll eat them up, but everything else will be put in a bag and burned when needed. So time to get these chopped up and cleaned up for the freezer. Well, waste not, want not. This stuff I'm going to be taking home. I will be cleaning it up and chopping it up, because I don't want none of these bits that's got the rust on. Obviously we'll be taking them off and just keeping the barrels below there. Chopping all of that up and putting it in the freezer for future use. Right, time to carry on. Right, I'm going to tackle this section. I'm going to pull out all of the cauliflower and start then, and once that's done I'm going to tackle the broccoli and start getting the broccoli off so I can freeze it. Right, well, hey, I've had a cracking year with these broccoli. Look at that, what's that? 2, 4, 5 florets of broccoli. Can't even hold them. Happy days, best broccoli I've ever grown so far to date. I'll be taking these home, blanch them, cut them up, put them in the bag, put them in the freezer, ready to go. Might even have chicken and broccoli for dinner, see what happens. I'll show you what the rest's like before I crack on to the next task. Well, we've got a slight difference. I've taken all the cauliflower out. I've taken the broccoli that's ready to be picked. I've left these ones in, so I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I've got 17 heads left of broccoli, which I'll leave in there. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to clear this area, tidy it up. I've got some peas that I sowed late there. They're ready to be picked. I'll just take them out. I've had a nightmare with peas this year, I'll do better next year. But I've also spotted something down there on the other side, which I'm going to go and clear that section up next, and we'll have a look because they look beautiful. I've just tidied up this section here. 2 lots of there's wallflowers and sweet william down this side here. There's a gap there now, I've pulled everything out. I remember putting 2 double begonias in here, and they're here. I'll have to get that back up again, try and stake it up. But I've just knocked the top off. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? No, Dean, don't get into the growing begonias. But that's just the one. Now if I go right at the back here, a bit of weed there, weeds there. Coming at the back here, you see, there's another one there. Now, isn't that pretty? Isn't that nice? That's a weed, come on that one. Lovely that. I'll have to get some more of them, because they do look pretty in a border. But I've also got some more glads that are opening up. I haven't staked them up, as you can see. That's what happens when you don't stake them up. Just end up flopping over. But yep, I wanted to show you them. Right, I'm just going to have a sweep around, get sorted out, have a quick chat with my granda and the rest of the chaps down here. Then I'm going to go head home and I'm going to make a start on building the bench for the shed in the back garden. I need to pop and see Leslie as well, so I'll get a quick show how she's getting on down her plot. Okay, let's head up to Leslie's plot. I'll take her some dinner up and see how she's getting on. Down at Leslie's plot, everybody wanted an update. There's a lot of people asked about it. Well, to be quite honest with you, there's not a lot been happening down here because of the 6 week holidays. But now that the kids are back to school, Leslie's been able to get down and starting to do things little and often. So I'll turn you around and give you an update, and then I'm going to give her a hand a bit before I head home to the shed. As you can see, grass and everything's starting to grow again. She has dug this bed back over again. When you get the rest of the beds dug over as well, just the little ones in that big section across the back. If you remember, I did rotivate this beforehand. Of course, all the grass and everything's all starting to grow back again. Just cleared off this section here, just bringing bits of wood chip little and often. Just cleared this bed today, which needed to be done because it was like pretty much like that. Because if you remember beforehand, before the 6 week holidays, this was done, this was done, this bed was done, that bed was done, that bed was done, so was them bits as well. Oh, here she comes now. Hi, Leslie. Oh, get you all hot and heavy watching a hot woman work. PG. Right, anyhow, so this is going to dump a load of weeds off. Just picking some wood chip on, which is handy. So getting that bit sorted. I'm just going across here with the spade now and just lifting all the weeds and everything up and getting rid of all the weeds. She's managed to obtain a shed, a greenhouse, and also a summer house, which at the minute just thinking of putting them just across the back there, covering this section over and just using these beds. But she's having to think how things are going at the moment. But of course, the first thing to do is to keep on top of things. A lot of grass has been blown from the allotments next door, so the plan is to get some wood, just do beams of wood on each of the fence panels, then do exactly what Steve and Debbie have done at the back there with the scaffold netting, just to try and limit the amount of seeds that's been blown across. But she's got a few flowers in here, of course, some geraniums in there, and also some begonias and some dahlias there. So, and we're getting some raspberries off the raspberry bushes still. But in the meantime, it's just tidy up work, isn't it, sweetie? Just getting some border edges. She's going to make for the kids' little fairy garden thing, which she's going to do. But in the meantime, I'm going to give her a hand before I head home. Right, what I've managed to get sorted, we've cleared out all of this section here. So we've got halfway mark along the plot. This section, just leave for the time being. I'm just going to focus on getting all of this section sorted out. Got to weed killer down and just weed killer the paths where the grass is coming through, and around the edge of the beds as well, not in the beds of course. Then once that's been done, you can start bringing in the bark to try and keep the weeds at bay. That bed to dig over, that bed. These beds have already been turned and rotivated, so they shouldn't be too difficult to turn over again. But I'm sure we'll be able to get that done, no problem, and Leslie can do it little and often, of course. So, good job, sweetie. Right, I'm going to go over home and make a start on the shed benches. Back at home, it's just about to make a start on the shed. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. So as Dave says, got to go and get the kettle on. I am just finished. I've actually just finished putting the light in here because I'm planning on working out through the evening. Because I want to get these benches done, even the frames put in. It shouldn't take us that long to do it, to be honest. But at the minute I want to get the light in first, so I've taken the light from the greenhouse, the LED one, and I've got it plugged in here. Now I'll turn you around and I'll show you what I've done. What I've done is, on the back wall here, I've fixed this in, see as I can. Obviously got the main switch in here. I've got the LED light going up there, across there, along the side and along the top there. So now if I was to shut this door, obviously pretend it's night time, just right, so we've got, that's a door shut, switch light on, there we go, we've got a bit of light. Happy days. Watch the flicker, because it'll flicker on, I'm sorry about that. So I've now got light to be able to work in here. Now it's time to get the frame sorted. So what I'm going to do for frame, I'm going to do basically two rectangles. I'm going to have it to where this first stud is. That's where the end of the length is going to be, to the corner. I'm going to fix it to the studs because I can't fix it to this board. So this is always going to be the plan. That's why the studs are marked on the walls. So I'm going to pick a spot how high I'm going to have it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a frame, rectangle frame here like that. Then put a couple of legs in this side, fix that side to the stud on that side, fix it to the stud there, fix it to the stud, fix it to the stud. So the only freestanding section is going to be this corner. Then I'm going to put a beam, basically do the same on the other side. Then in the middle, I'll just put a beam at the back, drilling through that side, drilling through this side, drilling to the beam on there, and there, and there. That'll secure that to the wall. And then I'll have a solid bench space. Put a leg in the corner, leg in the corner. That's the plan anyways. Now, as you've seen me in previous videos, building benches, it's going to be basic as possible, but they do work and they are sturdy enough to take my weight, even though it was before I got bigger again. So let's get sorted. So after about an hour, just making sure I got everything sorted out properly and the measurements right, I'm getting the bench sorted out. So don't worry about the boards on the top, the boards aren't going to be there, I'm just putting them in there so I can put some stuff on top. So I've got the square base, the rectangle base, so it just comes out just a little bit further than the stud, that's there. So I can screw that back base section in, so it's screwed in there, 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 and also there as well. This section here is not going anywhere at all. And I've managed to just put one leg in. Yeah, so that's at the minute it's go up and down, but I'm not worried about that because the stuff that's going to be the weight of the bench. That was clever. The weight of the bench is going to keep it all down anyways. So that's I don't. If I wanted to screw it to the floor, I could do because there is a joist that runs underneath the floorboard there. So if I wanted to screw it down to the floor, I could do. I am going to put beam down the middle, a beam in here, and a beam in there. And I'm going to have two cupboards underneath that section there. But that's where I'm at the minute. I've just got that's one side down. I've got to get this side to do as well. It is a different size. Then the middle bit is going to be a walk in the park, being straightforward the middle bit. So that side's done. So is that side as well. So that's that section. I've reinforced it with the legs on that side as well. In this section here, because on this side there was a beam going there, and I could get it into the corner as well. I've managed to secure that to the studs. So I've not had to do anything about this section. That beam at the back is screwed into the studs on the back. And this section here, instead of putting a leg in, I've just put a angle bracket in there. So that's nice and secure in there as well. And it's all level as well. I bloody hope it is anyways. But next task will be to get the board on the top. Now I'm just going to be using the thin board. The board that I used to put that outside. So this stuff here. So it is a bit flimsy, but I've got a spare board and I'm going to put that on the top. That's the reason as to why I've done 3 across the middle here. So I'm going to get it on the top now, see what it's like. If it's no good, I can always change it. And finished. Sorry about the light there. Let me show you what it's like. John popped over, which is very helpful actually, because I needed one of his tools in order to make the precise cuts that I needed for the top of the benches. Oh, excuse me. Let me show you what I've basically finished and sorted. So the plan was to get the benches in, and that's the benches in. So that's it done with a light and also the socket on the side there. Now I do have to come into the greenhouse in order to put the light on, of course, but this light gives off a kind of good bit of light source on here. Turn it off, as you can see. I mean, this is with the door open, so the natural daylight's in here. But the benches are absolutely fantastic. They're a good height. They're not too low, so I don't have to bend down. They're at a workable height. And of course I've got all of that room up there in order to raise the lights up. And the same with the back, and also across the side here as well. So that's that. So there's always one test that I do when I check a new bench out. So let's see if this holds my new weight. Well, it's not falling down, and it's kind of the right size for me as well. So if I ever do get kicked out by Leslie, I can come in here because I've got a heater, got electric, got Wi-Fi. Fantastic. People down south would pay a fortune for a little room like this. Right, well, that's me sorted for today. Thanks everybody, and I'll catch us over the next few days, and of course Harrogate weekend. Morning, it's Thursday morning. It's show preparation time for the Harrogate show come Saturday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so it's tomorrow. I am at home at the minute, busy picking which chilli plant I want to take. I've got a couple of options and I'll show you which one I'm going to be taking. So I've brought them into the shed just to see what they're like standing by themselves, as it's a bit difficult to see them in the greenhouse with the other plants around them. So I've got 4 choices in here. I've got this one, that was in the air pot. I've got the one at the back here, which is going in the standard pot. I think that's a 3 litre pot or 4 litre pot. In fact, I think they're all 3 litres to be honest. I've got this one that is in the air pot as well. I've got this one here, which is in standard pot. Now at the minute, this is the one I'm taking, just because it looks nicer than the others. It's a more uniformed shape as well. The only downside of it is the stem needs a little bit of support, or it does topple over the weight of the fruit, but that's fine, that's not a problem. The air pots are really good for not having to support them, as the root system in it is fantastic. The stems are thick, it's not going anywhere. These fruits are tightly packed in, so when it comes to root systems, pots are really good. But I am taking this one as it's going to be looks a bit more nicer than the rest. So that one's marked Joe's long. I've just put a couple of ties on here. I'll sort that out later on, but I'll just leave that in here for the time being. So I'm going to head down to the garden now and get the giant cabbage lifted and the marrow cut, and we'll see how much it weighs. Right, down the garden. Let's have a look and see what I'll be lifting this morning. So one of the things will be the heavy tomato. So I might just leave this until later on the night when I come down, because it's simple enough just to snip that off and I get another full day growth. One of the main things is going to be this marrow. This marrow is going to be snipped now. I've got my scales and we'll see how big it is. Either this cabbage or this cabbage is going to be lifted. I've got a feeling I'm going to be taking this one. In amongst here is the heavy parsnip. I'll be lifting this out and we'll see how that gets on. And the better known, giant carrot. Time to get this lifted too. And last thing I'll be pulling is 3 sticks of rhubarb. We'll see how they turn out. Next to come out is the giant carrot. Now funny enough, this was the spare. I'm pleased I put them in. It looks like it's turned out to be the better ones. So, see if I can get around it. Let me get right down as far as I can. Soil is very loose. Let's see what it's like. Whatever it's like, it's coming with us. Go from all sides, yep. Should be it. Well, so far, so good. I'll have to give this a good clean off and we'll see what it's like. So here we have it, the giant carrot, all cleaned up and ready to go. I'm pleased with how that's turned out. There's room for improvement, but of course there always is when it comes to gardening. So I don't think I've showed myself up, and I don't think I will show myself up. It's going on the bench, that's the goal. So happy days with the carrot. Let's go and try the parsnip now. These tops can burn. That's why I'm covered up. I've got gloves on. Once again, I don't know what this is going to be like. It's going in regardless. It wasn't something I originally planned on growing. But if you've got it, show it. And I got it. Shift out of here. Definitely in there. Good as hell. Watch us be tiny. That's got a really good hold. There we go. Age it up. Oh, it's short and fat. Well, it's rotten from the top as well. Well, hey, that's not what I was expecting. Just goes to show you don't have to have a hot big top. It's a shame. I haven't pulled the other ones up. Well, it is what it is. It's an octopus. Kind of reminds me of him out there. What's it, Pirates of the Caribbean? Right, we'll put this one with the other one and let's get the other stuff dug up. Right, big decision. Which one's for Harrogate and which one is for Malvern? Anyways, decision made. I'm taking that one to Harrogate. I'm taking that one to Malvern. I know this one's a bigger one, but it's the only thing I'm taking to Malvern is that cabbage and possibly swede. So I'm going to be taking that one to Harrogate. So let's get this lifted. Whew, I tell you what, that thing is not light. Oh, I managed to get it on my shoulder. Happy days. Right, I need to clean it off. I'm not removing any of the leaves. I'll get rid of that as snails that I can find. Now later on, I'm going to come back down. In this here, I need to cut to below 75 mil. So that's in line with basically the rules of the show. But for considering last year when I grew in there, if you remember correctly, I made a mistake putting these giant cabbage in that bed because I was club rooting. Now, I grew these all the way through into the big 10 litre buckets, then I planted them out. And as you can see, I can't see one single bit of club root. Well, maybe it's a tiny little bit there. On there. Happy days. So, good lesson learned for next year. I'm just clean that up. Right, no more because it goes off heaviness. But these little blighters have been a freaking goddamn nightmare. Look at them. Clean them all off. Right, do that. Then I'll leave the roots in some water until later on, till I come back and collect it. Right, now on to the main thing. Well, one of the main things for the novice section. Giant marrow. So let's get this off the top here. Right, okay, now onto the giant marrow. I'm going to get this pulled and I'm going to weight. I've got some scales behind us. I'm going to cut it now, see how heavy it is. I want to be very, very careful with it because there's only me here. So let's see how I can get on here. So we're going back now. Done. The deed has been done. Right. Oh, that is... Ooh, I should be able to manage that. Right, I'm going to set you up in front of the scales. Tell me what. That's some weight. That is some weight, that. Right. Let's have a see how heavy it is. "27 kilograms, just over 4 stone, 4.2 stone. So I'll do some quick working out, but it's 27 kilo. Tomorrow, from what I've gathered, is just under 60 pounds. I say it's not the biggest, but I'm happy with it. It's a benchmark for next year. I'm going to take this home, I'm going to put it in the car for safekeeping so I don't have to carry this down in the dark tonight. Right. Oh. Seatbelt on. Safety first. Right, well, it's getting on late afternoon now. I'm just busy emptying the car out so that I can get stuff sorted. I've tried to get things sorted at home as well very quickly. So time to pick up the cabbage, put it in the car, and then pop back home and collect everything else. Then I'm going to have to drive down to Harrogate and obviously start benching. So I'll show you the car when I'm finished packing. Right, I'm going to get the giant tomato. So I'm not doing this one, I'm doing the one that's below it here. So I'll just unwrap it. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just snip it from up here. That's that off. There we go. Giant tom. So anyways, I'm going to go with this one. So there's the giant tomato. Still starting to turn a little bit red there now, so it's nearly finished growing. I've still got one attached on that side. I might be able to take that to Malvern, you never know. Right, time to get this in the car now. Right, that's the car packed. Got the marrow, got the cabbage, got the carrot, got the parsnip, well, the little parsnip. Got 3 sticks of rhubarb down there as well. And in the front, the tomato, and I've got the chilli plant as well. So that's me ready to go. Let's get to Harrogate. Safely arrived at Harrogate and just finished benching. Gary's here from Jolly Giant Veg, and he's just giving us a hand there. It's dead straightforward. Just pick the cards up, put them on the bench. Jobs are good. I'm going to take a few pictures for myself and I'll show you around on Saturday. I'm going to be heading here tomorrow to watch the onion weigh-in, 12:30, and see a couple of lads. But for me today, I'll see you tomorrow.